Forbes magazine has dropped the former president from its list of 400 richest Americans. It's the second time in 3 years he has missed the cut. CNN senior data reporter Harry Enten joins us now. So how much money did the former president lose last year?
An astounding about $600 million. And that, my friend, is a very rare thing given that most of the people on the Forbes list, at least those in 2022, actually gained worth. 276 of those in the 400 gained worth. Trump is just one of 24 who dropped off the list. So 2023 might be a good year for a lot of us. It hasn't been a good year for Donald Trump, at least in terms of his worth.
What was the biggest financial loser for Trump?
Truth Social. That's the social media platform that he belongs to. You'll notice, he doesn't really post on Twitter or X anymore. And the big reason why is he owns 90% of Truth Social. And look at that. Its worth dropped from more than $700 million to less than $100 million. I guess part of that might be because you and I aren't on that particular platform. But the fact is, we're a bunch of many who just simply put have not decided to take part in the Truth Social media platform.
And if the former president had invested in the S&P 500 when he first landed on the Forbes 400 back in 1982, how would his fortunes have tracked? Would he have made more? Would he be more successful?
He'd have been a lot more successful. I mean, this is something that simple financial advisors will tell you to do. Invest in the S&P 500. It's gained about 10,000% since 1982. Donald Trump has gained net worth. He's gained about 2,500%. But the fact is, his net worth would be significantly better if he had just taken the money he had in 1982, invest in the S&P 500. Look, Donald Trump is still worth billions of dollars. But the fact of the matter is, it's not because he's necessarily a good investor. It's that he started off with a lot of money and basically was able to make money. Because the fact is, once you have money, it makes money. And Donald Trump's a good example of that.
Trump, who you see here in this photo with a very serious look on his face, was clearly frustrated in court today, repeatedly throwing his hands up in the air, sitting with his arms crossed. This comes as Trump's lawyers officially announced he will appeal the judge's ruling that he and his company engaged in persistent fraud for years. We'll talk about the chances of success there. First, though, Barbara Rez. She was an executive VP with the Trump Organization. She worked with Trump for nearly 2 decades and is the author of Tower of Lies, What My 18 Years of Working with Donald Trump Reveals About Him. All right, Barbara, you and I have talked many times over the years here, and I want to start with what we just played there, right? Trump and the Attorney General Letitia James, the back and forth. She says Trump's trying to bully her and engage in race-baiting rhetoric. He does repeatedly call her racist in general. You know him well.
Oh,
is she right?
Pretty well, yeah. Well, I did, you know.
Is she right when she
says
absolutely.
it? Yes. He always did that. I mean, he like, he'll get on TV and say, I'm the least racist person in the world. But he does love doing that. And calling her an animal, too, is a very racist thing to do.
Yes. So the images today of him inside the courtroom, right? Now, we know, okay, first of all, he didn't have to show up at all, Barbara, as you know. He came on day 1. And people close to him said, okay, it's just 1 day to make his point. Then he came on day 2, and then he came on day 3. Now he's gone for a while. We'll see when he comes back. But he was very serious today. I mentioned that he repeatedly threw his hands up in the air during the trial, arms crossed. But the hands being thrown up in the air, what does this say to you about how focused on this he is, how worried he is?
I think that he's very concerned about what's going on, but he's playing to his audience, and he wants them to think that he's not afraid and that he's just, this is such nonsense.
Throw your hands in the air. Yeah. So the state and the defense have listed him as a possible witness, right? So in the Venn diagram of witnesses, there he is in the middle. His adult sons also, though, Don Jr. and Eric on that list. The state also lists Ivanka Trump, and she was not charged because of the statute of limitations having expired as the reason. But you believe Trump's children maybe should be more worried about him testifying than the other way around. Tell me why.
Well, they both have reason to worry about the other way. Trump will throw him under the bus. I mean, I have no doubt.
His own children.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, he didn't treat them when they were young. Or actually, Eric was just a baby, but Donnie, he grew up, and he just didn't. He was very cold and distant. He didn't really. He wasn't a father. I never thought of him as a father. Ivana would bring the kids into the office, and he'd have a fit. And one time he was bragging about how they play Legos in his office. Possible way they didn't do that.
No, you said they didn't.
They didn't want them.
No Lego playing. All right. So, amidst all of this, right, at the core of this, and the reason perhaps he's in this trial is this is his life. This is who he is. This is his persona. This is his money, right? It's his definition of himself. He today was dropped from the Forbes 400 list of richest Americans. Now, most people on that list kind of wish they weren't there because they don't want the publicity. It's not true with him. He was the one who would have his, call and make the case for why he should be higher on the list. Forbes saying the reason is because of his social media platform, Truth Social, and his office buildings have lost value. They say 20% cut to his net worth, which puts him, he doesn't make the cutoff for the Forbes list. How much does he care about this?
Oh, God. I remember the beginning when he first, I guess it was the first one maybe. He was thrilled, to be honest. Look at me, look at me. He was on one
Forbes
his
list.
father, yeah. But after that, maybe a year or two, he was angry that he wasn't higher, and he was, he called them, and he was threatening to sue them and all this
Threatened to
stuff.
sue them because he
Yeah,
wasn't
well,
higher.
yeah, I don't know. He was walking around saying, "I'm going to sue them." I go, "This is wrong. This is a lie. I have much more money than this." Yeah. It was important to him. He wants people to think that he was, this great businessman. He made all this money. It's kind of ironic because he wasn't a great businessman at all.
And now he is not on that list. And I know it may seem silly, but it perhaps says so much. That
He's
something he cares
probably very
deeply
upset about that. That would be my gut.
All right. Well, Barbara, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. It's good to see you. And as I